Kalalal Malak Yahweh, Wa Yahushai, Bahashem, Racha, Quadash, and double honors to the elders of GMS Ruel, blessings unto those men, and blessings and salutations to the Akim out there in truth, pushing this word in all sincerity and in honesty. With that being said, Shalom Israel Barakatah. Today's lesson comes from RT.com, and the main heading reads, Germany planning major bunker expansion. And it goes on to say, Civil Defense Chief seeks at least 10 billion so that Berlin can be ready for war with Moscow. Germany is accelerating plans to expand and modernize its civil defense infrastructure as its European NATO allies pursue rapid militarization in preparation for a potential direct confrontation with Russia, according to Ralph Tiesler, head of the Federal Office of Civil Protection and Disaster. Assistance BBK. The article goes on to say, Germany currently has only 580 operational shelters with room for about 480,000 people. And the Germans are the Temanites. They're the smartest of Edom. Further reading says, less than 1% of the population. In a series of interviews with the country's media last week, Tiesler said that to address this shortfall, the BBK plans to convert underground garages, metro tunnels, and public basements into shelters capable of accommodating 1 million people, complete with food, toilets, and sleeping areas. New bunkers with the highest protection standards cost a lot of money and take time, and that's true. We need faster solutions, Tiesler told the Zeitung, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, noting that a full national shelter plan is expected to be presented later this summer. And the scriptures speak about bunkers. Let's go over to our first scripture. Amos 9:2. Though they dig into hell, then shall my hand take them. Though they climb up to heaven, thence will I bring them down. Though they dig into hell, meaning in their dumbs, which stands for their deep underground military bases. Though they dig into hell, into their dumbs, but they shall also hide in many other places of refuge. Though they climb up to heaven, thence will I bring them down. Speaks of the Lord. This speaks of the Lord bringing them down from their international space station of refuge. The Lord allowed them to venture to a certain region of space, but they never set foot upon the moon. That was a fabricated hoax. And even though the elites have operational facilities in the States, most will ride out the war and the indignation of the Lord, Yahweh wa Yahushai, in other countries. That's why you see Germany right now building more bunkers, according to this RT article. The elites will ride out the storm in the dumbs of the other countries. But no one has more underground facilities or dumps than Finland and Switzerland. And there are bunkers worldwide, but Switzerland alone has built the most bunker fortresses worldwide. As it stands, Switzerland has over 374,142 bunkers in existence, according to video documentaries online. But the elites will ride out the storm in the dumps to fulfill the scripture of Psalms 149:8 and 9. With that being said, let's keep going to Amos 9:3. Amos 9:3. And though they hide themselves in the top of Carmel, I will search and take them out thence. And though they be hid from my sight in the bottom of the sea, thence will I command the serpent, and he shall bite them. So the Lord will command the serpent, the Leviathan, and he shall bite them. The Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, will take them from all their mountainous regions and all other places of refuge, even that enormous Leviathan of the moist that was made to dwell in the depths of the sea will bite them in their underwater facilities. So all angles are covered. There's no place to hide from the eyes and judgment of the Lord, Yahweh Wayoshai. And the eyes of the Lord, according to the scriptures, are his angels. The angels are everywhere, beholding the evil and the good. The time will come when the Lord, Yahweh Wayoshai, will use the Lord's chosen in full spiritual power to take them captive. And the enemies of true Israel in those facilities will serve the nation of Israel as servants and as handmaids, pursuant to the scripture of Isaiah 14:2. They shall take them from their places of refuge in order to fulfill the prophecy of Psalms 149:8 and verse 9. And that's exactly what's going to happen. And we are telling you the truth to what's about to take place in these times, in these end times. And whoever shows you the truth, that's showing you pure love. And the scriptures have said, have we become your enemy because we tell you the truth? You see? The scriptures speak about everything. And if we are haters because they hated the Lord first, but as far as the people and their bunkers in Babylon the Great, they shall provide temporary shelter. But it shall not last, because the scripture of Jeremiah 51:29 has said that the land shall tremble in sorrow. And Babylon the Great is America. Let's go over to that scripture of Jeremiah 51:29. Jeremiah 51 and verse 29. And the land shall tremble in sorrow, for every purpose of the Lord shall be performed against Babylon, to make the land of Babylon a desolation without an inhabitant. You see? To make her a desolation without an inhabitant. That never happened to ancient Babylon. That's talking about the new modern day Babylon, which is America. America is known as modern day Sodom. Babylon is spiritually known as Babylon. It's spiritually known as Egypt. Just look at the back of your dollar bill. It bears a pyramid. Basra, etc., etc., etc. Idumea. And Babylon the Great, which is America, is Rome 2.0 all over again. And when it comes to Rome, ancient Rome and America, it has many similarities. But the will of the Lord, Yahweh Wayoshai, shall be performed against Babylon, to make the land of Babylon a desolation without an inhabitant. So your underground facilities and bunkers will not be able to save these so-called preppers during the heavy bombardment of the missiles and from the righteous anger of the Lord, Yahweh Wayoshai. The Lord shall cut off Babylon the Great, according to the scripture of Jeremiah 51 and 62. Let's go over to that scripture as well. And Jeremiah 51 and 28 speaks about the Medes, which speaks about the Russians. So that's why this article in RT, it mentioned Moscow. Jeremiah 51 and verse 62. Then shalt thou say, O Lord, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahushai, thou hast spoken against this place to cut it off. You see, to cut it off, that none shall remain in it, neither man nor beast, but that it shall be desolate forever. And when did that ever happen to ancient Babylon, which is Iraq today? This is talking about modern day Babylon. which is America. This is not speaking about ancient Babylon, as the scholars will have you believe. This is in reference to modern day Babylon the Great, which is America. There's no healing modern day Babylon the Great. Its judgment has been set since the very beginning, and it shall become desolate forever. But when it comes to these high tensions of the nations around the world, the wealthy continue to prepare bunkers with food, weapons, ammunition, and supplies for the coming catastrophic times. Look what happened in LA with ICE, all the people coming up against them. So biblical prophecy is being fulfilled. But we are hated for speaking the truth. But that's what we are commanded to do, to speak the truth. And when it comes to the scripture of Zechariah 9 and 12, it speaks about the place of stronghold. Let's go over to that scripture. Zechariah 9 and 12. Turn you to the stronghold, ye prisoners of hope. Even today do I declare that I will render double unto thee. And this is in reference to the elites of Esau, Edom, in these stronghold fortresses of refuge. You see? They shall hide themselves due to World War III and the second coming of the Lord. Once that CHIP is implemented, then that third world war of destruction cometh quickly. And the allies of Babylon the Great, modern day Babylon the Great, shall betray her and shall also shoot their arrows at her. That's why the scripture of Revelation 9 and 16 talks about the number of the army of the horsemen, or 200,000. Let's go over to that scripture. Here we have that scripture of Revelation 9 and 16, and the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000, and I heard the number of them. And this scripture speaks of 200 million missiles that shall take flight. Many missiles capable of carrying multiple warheads inside of that one missile alone. So imagine if multiple inbound missiles were to hit the same spot. It will just keep chipping away at the land or that mountainous region until there's nothing. And when it comes to the detonation of nuclear weapons, the radioactive material as well that is carried up into the air returns back to the earth as radioactive fallout. Right, that's where that wormwood of contamination comes in. Comes into play, Revelation 8 and 11. And when it comes to the word wormwood, it's of Ukrainian translation meaning Chernobyl. And we all know about the Chernobyl disaster that began on April 26, 1986, with the explosion of the number 4 reactor of the Chernobyl nuclear power plant near the city of Pripyat. But just imagine the constant missile strikes falling upon modern day Babylon the Great. Nothing shall live. It's just as it said in Jeremiah 51 and 29. To make the land of Babylon a desolation without an inhabitant. And that's coming. And modern day Babylon shall burn for a long time, but after the smoke clears, it shall become a den for wild birds, according to the scripture of Isaiah 34 and 11, and other like scriptures. With that being said, let's continue with Revelation 9 and 17. Here we have Revelation 9 and 17. And thus I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them, having breastplates of fire and of jacinth and brimstone, and the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions, and out of their mouths issued fire and smoke and brimstone. And when it comes to real horses running in the pastures, they cannot shoot forth fire. This scripture refers to the deadly effects of a nuclear detonation. The heads of the horses speaks of those nuclear warheads of destruction. Remember, one missile can carry multiple warheads in that one missile alone. They showed you that in the movie Iron Man with the Jericho missile, when it split open and multiple warheads came out of that one missile. And these missiles shall be shot into the ends of the world, which represents that destruction and the end of this wicked generation and wicked civilization at hand. And when it comes to the real servants of the Lord, Yahweh Yahushai, that are stationed in these four corners of the earth, they are telling you what's getting ready to happen, to occur. These nations, they find themselves in high war tensions with one another. And these tensions continue. The scripture of 2 Ezra 16:13 said, "For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow, his arrows that he shooteth are sharp, and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world." Right, those wasters to destroy will be guided by the Spirit of the Lord, and they shall fall upon all their strategic targets. Nothing shall be left upon modern day Babylon the Great. And the land of the small hats, that shall be cleansed as well. The land that the small hats now inhabit. But as soon as that CHIP is declared and implemented, then follows World War III. That move will be the end of Esau, Edom's wicked rulership on earth. As they say in chess, checkmate. But after the missiles touch down, the scenery and landscapes you once knew, they shall drastically change in that besom of destruction, you see? But Babylon the Great shall never rebuild. It shall never rebuild. But when it comes to the land that the small hats now inhabit, that shall rebuild. To welcome in the true Israelites. But with that being said, Ka'al Allah Malak Yahweh, Wa Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachak, Wadash, and double honors to the elders of GMS Ruwell, blessings unto those men, and blessings and salutations to the Akim out there in truth, pushing his word in all sincerity and in honesty. With that being said, Shalom Israel, Barakatah.